You want the TV that bad? You want it that bad? Here, take it. Take it then. What up, what up, what up? We are back. Who am I? Jersey Street Corner, and this is the Prison Talk Show, people. Now, I got a question for y'all. What would you do if somebody kept hogging the TV at your house? What would you do? Imagine how it feels when one inmate keeps hogging the TV in the day room. And this one inmate is so huge and his reputation is so violent that nobody does nothing about it. Get in the comment box, y'all. I want to know what y'all think. Now, this inmate that I'm talking about, his name is Harold. Harold, no joke, no stereotype, looked like he was straight out of Planet of the Apes. 6 foot, he towered over people, and I don't know if he had scoliosis or something, but he had this kind of like hunch where he kind of hung his body over and his arms just kind of hung forward like a damn ape. And he ain't talk that much. He was like one of those guys that will walk around and frown his face up all the time. That I'm always hardcore dude. And growling. You ask him something. I guess that was his yes. I don't know. Anyway, all this guy wanted to do was sit in front of the TV in the day room, and I guess to him that was his only, way to get away from his cellmate, from everything else going on. He sat in front of that TV and watched All My Children. He watched cooking shows. He watched cartoons. He watched Video Music Box. Whatever interests him, that's what he put on that TV. And he put the remote control in his pocket and dared somebody to try and take it out. Right in his pocket in his shirt. And dared you to try and take it out or try and turn the TV channel manually or something like that. Now, there have been a few guys who attempted to, try and get smart and say, well, I'm going to turn the TV anyway, and go and click the channel with their hand. Well, Harold, let's just say Harold will break bones over that TV. He'll grab your hand mid-turn and squeeze until he hear bones pop in your hand. I bet you won't do that again. I bet you won't touch that TV again. That'd be the only time you get Harold to talk, is when he get pissed off. When he ready to hurt something, that's when Harold like to talk. So, one night, I think it was a basketball game coming on. It might have been a Knicks game. I don't know, Knicks versus Bulls or something. I don't know. I can't remember if it was basketball or football. I really think it was a Knicks game. And everybody in the pod wanted to see the damn game. But what does Harold do? Harold is watching Pokemon cartoons. Yeah. Harold watching Ash catch him. Catch 'em all, Ash. And he just sitting there watching. Now, I don't know if he was doing this to piss everybody off, because apparently, Harold didn't gamble. He didn't care about sports. Wasn't very athletic. Just a big log. So I don't know if he didn't care if everybody wanted to see the game that night. He was going to watch what he wanted to watch, and wasn't nobody going to do nothing about it. So everybody start thinking, like, how we going to watch the game if he going to sit there all night? He not going to move. Harold didn't get up to go get dinner, nothing. He'll go eat whatever he got in his locker when he locked down. But all the time that he had free, he used in front of that TV. When they say you got to take screen time away from a child, somebody should have definitely intervened and took some screen time away from Harold, because he was going a little overboard. But it's prison, and hey, unless you're gonna step up and do something about it, is very little that you can complain about. Now, when I heard about this happening over in the other pod, people was telling me like, "Yo, I can't believe this dude. This dude, he wildin', man. Yo, we gotta do something about this dude. We got to get him up out of here. Can you holler at Didi for me?" Now, I don't know if y'all heard a lot of my other videos, but my cousin Didi was a big blood, and pretty much he got a lot of respect in the prison. And if he wanted to make something happen, it would happen. Let's just put it that way. Whether it was getting a CO to move somebody's cell, or, you know, putting somebody in the cell that was going to beat somebody down and get switched out of that cell in the middle of the night like it never happened. That kind of justice happened often also. But this is a different situation. This is a big bully that the COs are honestly scared of. So they're not going to just go and move him and mess with him, you know, just for the hell of it, and risk getting into a fight and, you know, getting something broken before they go home that night. Because he didn't care about going to lock up or any of that. He just didn't care. He would threaten you just with his being. Just with him standing there, breathing and staring at you, looking like a gorilla in the mist. Yeah. Now, everybody said they was down to be involved with getting rid of him, and everybody wasn't made for it. Let's just put it that way. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button for me one time. Alright, back to the story. Now, it wouldn't take us long at all to come up with a diabolical plan, y'all. If Harold wants the TV so bad, we gonna let him have it. We slowly see the time ticking around, and the game was starting at 8 p.m. We only had 2 hours before last lockdown. So, this guy, Harold, is out there watching TV. It's 7:30, 7:45 rolling around, 7:50. He ain't moving. So we like, alright, the grace period is over. Because if Harold had stepped aside and been courteous and said, I know everybody want to watch the game, so I'm out, then we would have just left it alone. But nah. Now we got to go ahead with our plan. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but in prison, we make extension cords. Now, I know you like, how the heck you do that? You get your personal fan and you connect it to the other one. And there's ways that we can splice it where you can keep connecting all of the fans together in the pod and have it spliced to an outlet. And that way, one outlet could power multiple fans without us having to spend crazy money on batteries. Yeah, y'all, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive in prison. Anyway, we made an extension cord with the fans long enough from the end of the pod to reach to the back bathroom stall where the showers are. Now, we already knew we had the length because, like I said, it went the whole length of the tier. So we already knew we could get those fans into the shower, no problem. We just had to throw them and plug it in. So we'll let Harold go ahead and watch his cartoons, and we missing the game already. So by now, you know, it's already like 9:15. Nobody even want to see the game no more. Everybody like, we done missed, you know, a good part of the game already. We don't want to see it now. Mind you, people got money on the game. They're gambling. They trying to listen to the radio to hear the scores. All of that. Harold is really messing up stuff in the pod with this TV situation. And little does he know it, everybody wants him out. So we waited and waited and waited. Harold did not move. Then finally, Harold would get up and take the remote control out of his pocket and put it back on top of the TV. And he'll walk off. We're like, what the hell? It's like 9:30 now. We're like, all right, listen. Either he going to his cell early to go to sleep, or he might be going to eat or something. I don't know. Nah, y'all, we got extra lucky. Harold had on his flip-flops and he was headed to the shower. So immediately we started getting to work. Start plugging all the fans in, getting them ready, getting them situated. Everybody chilled, act like nothing was going on. Waited for Harold to go ahead in that shower, y'all. As soon as he went in that shower and we heard the water come on, we say, all right, we start tiptoeing. Quiet as ninjas. And everybody, it took about 6 of us because we're holding the fans so they don't make noise tinkering on the ground while we walking with them. So we holding the rope fans. And one guy is all the way at the end of the tier waiting to plug him in when we get close enough to throw it. So everybody in the end, they gently place their fans down on the floor. Now, it's always wet in the bathroom, in the shower area. And you can't tell, where the water's coming from. So all I had to do was slide the rope of fans right on into the middle of the shower area. And as soon as I slid it, old boy plugged it in. Harold in there jumping. That shock went right through. The water crept up right to his toes, y'all. Even with the sandals on. The chancletas. He in there getting jolted, y'all. Jolted. Then he would never expect this. Also, with the fan, we had the whole television set, y'all. Yeah, I know y'all like, well, dang, ain't nobody gonna get to watch TV. That's right. If we can't watch TV, you ain't watching TV either, Harold. And we tossed the whole TV set in there with them attached to the fans. We had it spliced to the cord. Boom! Now we actually seeing blue shocks and stuff in the bathroom popping off, and we hearing smoke and shit. We like, oh shit. So immediately we pull the fans out, start dismantling those. Threw away the one that was all messed up. Took it apart. Everything else put back together like it never happened. TV in there with Harold. Harold still shaking. He chittering. He biting his tongue. Harold is going through it. He just got more shock than if you almost die and they try and bring you back. So finally, the lights flickered in the whole pod, and then they came back on. And you heard generators shut down and then come back on real quick and all of that. So immediately, the COs came in there, locked it down, lockdown. We got to figure out what's going on. Because that meant all the cameras had to reboot. A lot of stuff had to reboot. Lock it down, y'all. Lock it down. We can't have y'all running around here, without cameras and stuff going on. So as they're walking the tier, they come in past the bathroom. They start smelling something. It smells kind of like meat, cooked meat. And they like, y'all shouldn't be able to cook like that up in here. What's going on in here? Somebody got something altered in here? Then they saw it, y'all. Harold was laying in a puddle of water. The TV still, the circuit's still making noise, crackling on the floor. And Harold is there twitching, just twitching, y'all. Well, Harold, he made it out of that situation. But let's just say Harold was different. Harold had to learn his motor skills again. Harold had to learn how to walk, how to talk. Harold had to learn how to wash his own ass again. Because he didn't know how to move right. He took so much electricity through his body, almost fried his heart. Yeah, y'all. So, like I said, I need y'all to get in the comment box and tell me what you would have did if somebody continuously hogged the TV. We want to see TV too. I like basketball. I like football. Anyway, that's going to be it for that story, y'all. If you like content like this, like, share, subscribe, and get in that comment box, man. Let me know what's up. Alright, y'all. I am your boy, Jersey Street Corner, and I'm out.